from the Denver Broncos Media Center, welcome to Broncos Country Tonight with Ryan Edwards and Benjamin Allbright.
Welcome to Broncos Country Tonight, breaking down the Broncos' loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers 27-19. They made a valiant comeback in the fourth quarter, Benjamin, but it was not enough. And it's one of those situations that we've seen kind of for a little bit of time now, off to slow starts and struggling on third down. It's something we even brought up during the course of their win streak. We said, hey, these are some things that you need to get cleaned up. Use this time playing against weaker opponents to become better at the things that you ultimately know you're weak at. Those same things are showing up now again as they play better opponents.
Well, it's not just this season. Like what we're seeing is a trend on offense. The Broncos are one of the worst teams in the NFL at scoring in the first quarter. They were 29th last year. They're 27th this year. But that's 13 points is terrible. They are one of the worst teams on third down. They were terrible last year. They're the worst in the league this year. They're bad in the red zone. You get down to the red zone, but then they can't turn that into points, and that's been a problem. And we're seeing that has been systemic year to year, and this is a problem. We're going to have to figure out what those things are and how to fix them. And I feel like that is incumbent upon your offensive coordinator. I feel like that's an indictment of your offensive coordinator. It doesn't matter whether it's Teddy Bridgewater or Drew Lock in there. We blamed it all on Drew Lock last year, and certainly Drew had his struggles, and there is blame to go there. But everybody blamed it all on him. Now we're into this year. And, yeah, Teddy Bridgewater's got a better completion percentage, but, oh, by the way, we're 11% worse on third down. We're 11% worse in the red zone. And so, in the end, if that's not translating to points, then it doesn't matter if you're more efficient. It's just a prettier way to lose.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard that. In the end, though, what the Broncos are doing when they're losing here, it kind of is in all three phases. It's the coaching staff. And so a lot of people want to point fingers onto, okay, it's this thing. I don't think there is one thing because, honestly, coming off this game and after watching it even a second time, we talk about complementary football, and most of the time we mean that from the offensive side of the things, like, hey, the offense is letting the defense down. Well, in this game, it was the defense not being able to stop the run, giving up big chunk plays, and letting down the offense. Now, the offense didn't do their job getting first downs and moving the ball. Sometimes you're going to go toe-to-toe. We watched the Browns and the Chargers just yesterday sort of breaking that down, and that's what happened in that game. Defense didn't really do very much in that game, but you know what? The offense did just fine. So in this case, the offense had a chance to pick up the defense, and they couldn't do it. But that's the thing, is that the offense, in my opinion, isn't really built for that.
This particular game felt like a game in which both sides of the ball outsmarted themselves.
Yeah, that's a good one. Well, we said that against the Ravens,
right.
too.
It really did. It felt like instead of just getting back to basics and highlighting the things you're good at and just keep doing those things, which is what the Steelers did, by the way.
Very much.
We tried to get too slick, too creative, prove we're the smartest guys in the room. Why are you throwing deep so often on first down? Get your quarterbacks in a rhythm, Coach Shermer. Get them easy completions so that they've got a chance on third down. Because everybody on earth knew what was coming on those plays. It was going to be a deep shot on first down. Then when you didn't get it, you were going to take a stab at it with the run game on second down and pick up 2. And now you're in third and 8. Now what? Teddy Bridgewater's going to throw, you need 3 yards, he's going to get you 5. You need 9 yards, he's going to get you 5. And that's what happened through 3 quarters of football yesterday.
Yeah, the only thing that they slightly improved on was, remember, it was 8.9 yards in third down and to go. Last week, it was 7.8 this week. So
it's really 8.1 on the season, which is second worst in the NFL to only the Minnesota Vikings.
It's still one of the worst in the league, and that's still a massive problem. And you're 100% right. And they feel like token runs at that point. They don't feel like runs that are meant to impact the game and what you're trying to do on offense.
Well, that's exactly what it felt like, because he came out and it felt like Pat Shurmur was trying to shut the media up, because Pat Shurmur came out and ran the ball on 5 of the first 7 plays, whatever it was, and
went 3 and out.
And you can't go to token runs when you come out the game and get a delayed game penalty.
Yeah.
Then you're first and 15. Well, you get a 6-yard run, and instead of being third down and 4, now you're looking at third down and 9, and you're just not in position to get it. So you can't do token runs at that point. So you've got to have plays that work for these things to try to gain half the yardage you need in order to be able to accomplish the next down. And that's the problem. It just doesn't feel like the Broncos understand that. And I'm not putting that on the players. I'm putting that on the coaching.
But again, when I come back to the defense, and I like I said, I think a lot of people are justifiably frustrated with the offense. But I come back to the defense. You had dropped interceptions, and that's going to happen once in a while, but you had several of those. You had only one sack on Ben Roethlisberger.
That was the bigger.
The Steelers had been giving up sacks by the bunches, and Ben Roethlisberger has no mobility whatsoever. The frustration really came down for me rewatching the game as I watched the Steelers' offensive line look like one of the top O-lines in the league, and that is not something they've looked like at all this year.
And it was multifaceted. The one sack that you had wasn't a real sack. It was a strip sack by Malik Reed.
It was more of a coverage sack than anything.
Else. And what are you doing having your best pass rusher on a team that's shorthanded and getting pressure, dropping back into coverage on Chase Claypool in the slot?
Yeah, that one's tough. That one's tough, and there's not really much to explain away. I know that Coach Fangio said something about we were in zone, and this was the situation, but it's like, okay, well.
But the personnel grouping was wrong. They came out 4 wide, and you're in base 3-4. Call timeout.
Yeah, immediately.
Right away, somebody, there's a mismatch. And that quarterback, who, by the way, is going to be in the Hall of Fame and has been in the league for almost 20 years.
You think he's going to miss Von Miller?
Coming out. He's not going to miss Von Miller sitting there in the slot and know it's zone on Claypool and just wait till Claypool gets through the zone, which he did.
Yep.
I mean, if you're coach, you got to call timeout there. And I know that is me, hot take radio guy sitting right here talking, hot air radio. I'm not a hot take guy, but hot air radio guy sitting right here telling you if I'm recognizing that, for darn sure that Hall of Fame quarterback is recognizing that and licking his chops.
Yeah. And then we get to the third phase, which is special teams. And you had Draymond Jones with the leverage penalty. And I know that
was rough. That was borderline.
It is, but you just can't give them a reason to call it. And you think about the math of this game. You end up giving up 7. Now, again, Alexander Johnson had a dropped interception in the middle of that. But let's just take that out for a second. You go 7 instead of 3. I mean, the 4 points was a big difference when it came down to the final drives of the game, and that math would have mattered.
I believe, and I don't want to hold those interceptions against Alexander Johnson. He's a defensive player. You're not going to hold on to all of them. It just happens. But the Steelers did score on the next play on both those 2.
That's it.
Missed interceptions.
That's my point.
And that's the way the ball bounces in the league.
Yeah.
You got to make the most of your opportunities.
But we said this last year when they were in Pittsburgh and Michael Ojemudia dropped an interception in the end zone. And we said, boy, you get that interception, the Broncos might win that game even with Jeff Driscoll. That's the point, is the margins are still there for this team. And that's if we're learning anything about this team, and they have a great opportunity to stay in the positive column if they can get the Raiders win this week. But the thing is you got to understand what you are. And what you are is a team that needs to be opportunistic. And those moments, they don't come every single time. And even with a struggling Steelers team, they're not going to give you those moments very much if you don't go and take them.
Very true. That's it. You hit the nail on the head there. In the end, the margins are too thin not to take advantage of opportunities.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow and break it all down and start to look ahead to the Raiders. For Benjamin Allbright, I'm Ryan Edwards. Thanks for watching Broncos Country Tonight.